Well, the biggest problem I have with it is government is not communicating to us things that they, by law, have to communicate to the general public before taking such a step. We don't know if government is in compliance with the International Convention on Civil Political Rights, which government signed on to, you know.
Yeah, but so you are not vaccinated?
I am not vaccinated.
You don't intend to get vaccinated?
Not at this point.
Not at this point.
But I'm not an anti-vaxxer, I'm an anti-experiment.
Okay.
As soon as I feel that the vaccinations have been perfected, I would be more than willing to take it.
Oh, so you just don't trust it at this time?
Not at this time, because I'm seeing them discovering things as they go along.
So people will say, okay, you don't trust it, but then out of everyone that has died in Belize, over 350 people, none of them were vaccinated. What do you have to say to that?
Well, the data, we don't know if the data is accurate, because
so you don't trust the government's data?
No. Like, for example, just recently somebody died in Punta Gorda, and there isn't a procedure in place, or the public does not know about the procedure where government will do an investigation if that death was associated with the vaccine.
You don't think that the
there's
government
not a phone number for the public to call if they feel certain side effects and so on, you know. Okay. We don't know the channel government is taking to communicate these such persons to CDC and FDA.
Okay. So the problem that this group have is that you don't think that the vaccine is ready for...
I don't think the vaccine is ready. I don't think the government is managing the COVID in a competent manner.
What would you like to see the government do different to control? Because we can't deny the fact that people are dying, right? So what would you want to see the government do to control that?
Well, I would like to see them move back to where they had an SI, where you cannot come out unless you can prove that you have something absolutely necessary to do.
So you are in favor of lockdown versus the vaccine?
Not total lockdown. If you can prove that you're on a hustle to sell oranges, sweets, whatever, then, you know, but not like unnecessary movement just to hang out and so on. If they would have done that from the onset, but if people could look back from the day from 11th of November, even they were celebrating in such a way like COVID did not exist. You can't send two messages. Action speaks louder than words.
Okay, so you had a meeting yesterday. Tell us about that meeting.
Well, our meeting was basically with the organizers, not all the members of the group. And this meeting was mainly to find out our budget so that we could mobilize people who share the same interest. Also to research who is going to deal with the legal aspect, look at all our legal rights. Also to decide our various protest strategies, and the brochures, and possibly to see if we can make TV ads and so on, so that people who share our interests can know that there is a leader somewhere in the country, there's somewhere to go to.
So who is leading this group in Punta Gorda?
Well, I have my own group, Kyla Morales, and then you also have Miss Irina, and I guess he will tell you the other members of their group. I went as the leader of my group, the anti-experiment group.
Okay. PSs.
Okay, that mandate is to have that mandate is to have the how would you say that, the stifling of the movement of anyone into any public space or any public arena.
Why are you against that?
The reason I'm against it is because of the lack of transparency behind the actual mandate, whereby the restriction of movement and the restriction of the will to comply or to make your life as comfortable as possible, although we're in what we consider a pandemic.
Okay, so what would you like to see? How would you like to see the government then operate differently?
Well,
because the fact of the matter is that people are dying.
Well, the fact is, yes, it's people are dying, but the thing is that it is the information that is being given out or being given out from the ministries in reference to how people or what people are really dying from. What
So-
happens is that people are dying, but the diagnosis that they're giving is that they are dying from a particular element such as high blood pressure, heart attacks. But
No, but they say that they have 350 something recorded COVID deaths. That's what brings on all these regulations. How do you answer to that?
well, the thing is that if the elements that we are looking at is that as much as we might have 300 and something people dying from, if they're dying from COVID, yes, we can say that we're under a state of duress, but not necessarily that it manifests to us to have everyone completely stifled because of a particular reason, whereby the information is still not as transparent or evident enough to say that we are necessarily in a dire situation. No,
So you have not taken the vaccine.
no, sir.
You are against taking the vaccine.
I am against taking the vaccine at this moment because a vaccine is, as medically known, is that it takes a couple of years before a vaccine is actually made, or to say that has been tested on people. The thing that is troubling about the vaccine is because now, yes, we understand that you can have a situation or you can have a particular pre-existing condition, but the testing of these vaccines is exactly what is taking place. Now, if the government would say that they are actually testing the vaccine on the people, or let us say they are testing the vaccine and
So you think the government is lying to the people?
actually, I would say that they're actually not really, they're lying to the people. They're supposed to be really and truthfully honest with us. They're supposed to tell us,
So they're
"Look,
not being honest
they're
with
not,
the people.
I don't think they're being honest enough to the people. There are elements that, yes, that they do produce, but actually the wealth of the information, which is actually a bigger picture than we may actually see it to be.
So from the meeting yesterday, where do you go from here?
Well, there's a countrywide protest that will be taking place of course, in Belize City primarily on the 18th of September, where that is in about a week's time. And that protest is
Are you going to that
against-
protest?
Yes, sir. We hope to get to that protest.
Okay, and
There
people
is-
from Toledo going to that protest?
Well, we're working upon right now where they're supposed to already have about 2 buses that is actually available. And
Who
if-
should they contact if they want to go to the protest?
Well, they can contact myself, or they can contact us at the Toledo Freedom Fighters on the chapter.
How do they contact you?
They can call me at my number, which is 602-0037. They can contact me for more information in regards to what the protest is about and how they can be a part of that protest.